Hey everybody, welcome back to our Medieval Total War Viking Invasion Northumbria campaign. We have just successfully pushed the Scots back a little bit. In the last episode we held off on several successful occasions against counterattacks from Athfotla down into Fib, and we've managed to take Dalriada. Now, we do have a siege underway here. We've got 1 year, which really translates into 2 different turns that we have to wait. But I strongly suspect we're going to be attacked from the north before that happens. So we're probably going to get some invasion from Ski here. Now, one thing I'm curious about doing, since we have an emissary here, let's just set him up here directly to see what the building situation looks like, as well as the units. We can see in Moray, since we have a spy, that they've got lots of family members. They've got some armored spears and a bunch of archers, but they've also got a fair number of peasants. And I suspect Ski has a lot of Highland clansmen and maybe not too much else, honestly. So let's end the year, see if they're going to hit us, or if they're going to play a little defensively. Interestingly, no, they moved their troops into Athfotla, which is actually kind of worse, although this is nice. The Scottish leader has died from an illness. So that means 1 fewer family member, at least, to worry about, and I don't know what kind of stats the old guy had. Okay, but here he is. So the new king is crowned in Ulster. Apparently this is the most built-up settlement now that the Scots possess. So the game, when you get a new king, the game puts him in what seems to be the most built-up settlement with the most upgrades, or maybe the highest tier of castle. I'm not quite sure what the determining factor is there. And your new king starts there. So he goes back to what is kind of like your capital, I guess, your most advanced region to be crowned. So that can have important repercussions. Like now, the king is no longer going to play a role in Scotland because they don't have any ships. So he can't get over here. The other thing that this means is, I believe the heirs will come of age in the same province as their father. So that means all of the subsequent Scottish heirs should be coming of age in Ulster. So they're going to be the Irish's problem, which is fine. And we're just going to hold out in Dalriada. All right, we lost 192 men. No, they lost 192. We lost 54. Right? The defenders, regardless, it's about to fall. Next turn, we'll get it. Okay. So Athfotla, this is now somewhat of a bigger problem because they've got an army that can hit us here or here. I do think that they would be more inclined to hit us in Dalriada rather than Fib again. I'm a little worried that they will hit us in Fib anyway, because I don't think we can hold out this time. But what we were going to do was get some more men for Prince Edulf. He's done great work here defending Fib, but he has lost quite a few of his bodyguard, of his retainers. And so we're going to merge these units together to see, to see how this is going to go, because was it this episode or was it the 4th Age campaign I'm playing? I got some comments recently where people were surprised about merging. This has always been a thing in Medieval Total War. It's also a thing in Rome Total War, by the way. But we can just drag and drop these units together. And the downside will be that there will be some loss of the valor on the high valor guys, right? You've got all these new, although they do have 2 valor. Well, I guess that's because of the command stars now. But there's going to be some averages, so let's see how it goes. Okay, that's actually really good. 4 valor on this unit, and now he's full up. And now we've got 3 of these other bodyguards. I'm just going to keep him under him for the moment, because the loyalty of 2 is really not good. I guess we could put him over here with these guys. I guess it doesn't matter too much. We've got a very loyal Feardman, governor of Fib, I think it is. No, he's the governor of Lothian. Fair enough. We'll move our assassins over like we have been doing. And, okay, you, I think... Okay, you're headed into Lindesey. Yeah, we want to cancel that. This now is unsafe. And you can see that the emissary he was going after is still standing. So he's going to be moving who knows where, right? Is that a little horn he has? Or is it a little... It's probably a little scroll of some kind. Regardless, again, very, like, late medieval looking emissary. But we'll just continue to move these guys up. We've got 1 star, and you've got 1 star. Okay, so we'll keep you there. 908 profits. I did indulge in a little building and training. So we've got some woodsmen, and oh, this looks so bad. Yeah, the problem, of course, is the loyalty. So we will at least have some woodsmen when we feel like we can move them around. Let's see, Fearedmen, that's respectable. 3 shield Fearedmen. Now, where do I want to put them? I'm happy to see that the Mercians, still our allies, have moved some of these troops out of Lindisi. So they had 3 stacks there just in the last turn, and now they've moved them down into East Anglia. Let's check. Yep, they're still only at war with the Vikings. So they've taken East Anglia, and they seem poised to hold it. Look at all these peasants, though. They're training quite a lot of those guys. And Kent is still looking very strong and in the hands of rebels. So it looks like the Saxons are not making a move yet. The Mercians are really just getting ready. And unfortunately, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get that alliance with the Saxons. Yeah, we don't have any local guys. Where's our bishop, though? He's in Hordaland. Okay, yes, he was making peace with the Vikings, and now he's making converts. You can see, actually, he's doing pretty good, 16%, given the fact that this is a 100% pagan province. He's been here for a few turns. He's done very well, and this is just a terrifying army. I hope they don't come over and bother me again, but I think they're going to be pretty respectful. We'll see. They could certainly turn on us. So for Fib, we were training horsemen. Let's not forget that. Move you right there. And we've got 1 turn for this to fall. Now let's take a look at these armies that we were so curious about. So in Ski, or Skye, we've got a family member here. He's of royal blood, so he's a former prince who's no longer called a prince, right? He's no longer in direct line for the throne. So he is losing a little bit of loyalty as a result of that. If we're lucky, I guess we could see a Scottish civil war. The new king has the same influence as us. Natural leader and utterly fearless. I'm glad he's across the sea. That's a good place for him. He's 34 years old. Yeah, we've only got 3 influence. 56 years old, our King Ethelred II. All right, well, so this army doesn't look bad, honestly. A lot more peasants than I would have thought. Let's see what they've got over here. Okay. So some Highland clansmen, but really not many. They are in a bad way. Now, they do have these armored spears, 2.5 units of those. The Highland clansmen, as you can see, this is the same unit from medieval, the European map. But yeah, these armored spearmen, and they've got some of their royal bodyguards, and of course they've got just a few horsemen. Okay, so I think we stay here. I think for Fib, if they were to attack, what are they training? Horsemen and archers. Okay, so they're building this up, which is interesting. And I think the reason is they can't build Celtic warriors. The Picts had this for a while, but didn't do too much with it because... Actually, no, the Picts were only in existence for about 2 years before I destroyed them at the beginning of this campaign. But typically, you'll see Athfoot languish because the Celtic warriors are a very low-tech unit. The Picts will typically hold this for a while. They'll build it to the point where they can make those Celtic warriors and then not really do anything else. But now that the Scots are here, they can't make Celtic warriors, so they're just going all in with other stuff. They're going for, they're building some butts to make some archers. They're building some stables to make some horses. They're even building a muster field for peasants. One thing, I guess I haven't talked about this, but there's an entirely separate building for peasants in this expansion, which is interesting. So just building like your basic fort structure, the warrior hold like we have here in Lothian, or the stockade or the fortified village, none of these core buildings allow for the recruitment of any units. You have to go and branch off and build a dedicated building to make your peasants. And that's something that's, interesting, I guess. I don't think there's any province on the map that gives a valor bonus to peasants. Like in the European map, Provence, I think, does this. So there's some slight incentive to train peasants out of there, but I don't think that's the case on the Viking map. So, like why you would ever build a muster field. I guess the developers maybe wanted to see fewer peasants on the map, right? Because in Medieval Total War, the base game, you can't not make peasants if you build just about anything. So maybe they figured this would be one way to do that. Unfortunately, it didn't really work if that was the intent. Maybe instead the idea was to show that you need to build more infrastructure in this game. It's just a hard Scrabble world and you can't just get peasants for free at a fort. I guess that makes sense too. I do wish there was something cooler, because Musterfield sounds like you're getting ready for some serious campaigning and then you get peasants out of it. So it's a bit disappointing that way. But anyway, I think we're just going to hold here. We're going to sit tight and fib. I did make some armored spearmen, and I'm risking so much just by having these guys, continually moving around. One loyalty shield. I mean, 3 is good. So, given that the Mercians have moved away, let's not antagonize them. Let's move these Fearedmen up. And I think we'll keep all of that just as it is. Although maybe I should move these guys to fib. And we'll swap them back around next time. I guess that's what we'll do. It's just very frightening here. We do have some options to build, though. Pexetin did finish a fortified village, so we can go to the next level with that. We can start building something. There's no iron here, so I'm not super incentivized to make this into a troop training province. But, having the option to train archers could be good. So let's just spend 200 for that, just so that we can get something out of here that is military. And we've got 2 more seasons for the fortified village to be done, so let's go with 2 more assassins. When that's done, we'll get to go to the next level of assassin building. And I think that's probably all I want to do at the moment. I guess we can go with another unit of horsemen. Or you know what? Since their units are so kind of low tier, let's go with spears, just to work on numbers as a deterrent. Okay, Mercians coming back up to Lindisi. That might be the invitation for the Saxons to start hitting them, as if they start to move troops away. Okay, Emma is aging out of the princess life. She's going to be a nun. Mercians have the highest tech. They invented chains. Check it out. Their technological achievements are indeed unsurpassed. They invented these chains. They're cartoonishly huge, but they've invented them. All right, and siege in Dalriada. So we've pillaged 1,500. We've damaged 3 facilities, destroyed 1. So that means stuff's being downgraded. Saxons yet again. And that's from my spy in Essex, claiming that they're going to attack the Mercians. I'll believe it when I see it, guys. I kind of wouldn't mind. My first move is definitely going to be to hit Mercia itself, but I am going to need more troops to make that a feasible hold if I do take it. All right, we got a blacksmith in Cumbria. That's nice. So I started this up with the idea that this is an iron-producing province, and at some point I'm going to want to make use of that iron, so we need the blacksmith to get that at least started. We could get Fearedmen out of here, and I think that's what I'll do. Elmed is just going to be for woodsmen. That's all I'm going to bother investing in there and training. And in Cumbria, I think I'm going to make armored feared, because they are a good unit, and I can make them in Beornice with some morale upgrades thanks to this this chapel here, and as well as some valor upgrades thanks to the Royal Palace. But I can't make them with... And man, my game is taking a super long time to open up the building descriptions. It's ridiculous. But regardless, I think I want some iron feared, right? So we'll get them out of Cumbria eventually. 1120 though. I mean, geez, we're making a good money. But let's see what we've got up here. So we've actually still got the keep, which is the highest level building we currently own. Next down would be this fort in Bernicia. But Dalriada, we've kept the keep. That's amazing. Good for us. All right, so with that, we can train all kinds of stuff. Wow, what did we downgrade? Oh, the farms. Well, maybe there weren't any farms. There may have been a royal palace here, so that would have gotten downgraded. Maybe the archer building got downgraded, but we can actually make catapults and stuff. I don't think I will, but it's nice that we can. We can make feared archers. Wow, this is just great. And they moved back to ski. Okay. So it is interesting to see what they're doing. I think they're feeling very defensive. All right. Again, we've got the real lag here. I think the computer. So my wife has noticed this. She'll fire up the computer, and then it's like it waits for her to start playing a game before it starts downloading updates. And it's just obnoxious, and it screws everything up. So I think I'm still experiencing that. I thought it was all finished by now, but evidently not. We've got some lag here as a result. Okay, so what do we want to do with this army? I think this army is just going to sit tight. I will move you back, and we'll send the feared men up because I don't think they're quite so eager to attack Fib, at least. And that should be good for a while. We'll just hold Fib as it is. I don't think I'm going to bother training more horsemen because I've got one here. We've got some mercs left over that can still be useful, and of course we've got our general. And that should easily handle all that they've got. So maybe the next thing would be just to push on into ski, which is going to be a tough battle, right? It's going to be mountains. And they have one clansman. Just one. Ooh, this might be the time. Of course, doing that's going to weaken me in Dalriada, right? Maybe we can try for peace. So here's one thing we could do. Let's throw a princess here. It says no unmarried men of royal blood. That's interesting. He was unmarried a second ago. But we can send for an alliance. So yes, we'll try that. I was hoping that they had some unmarried guys because, you know, we could marry into the family, of course, and then even if they were to drop the alliance for some reason, like we're not at war with anybody else, but theoretically, we could still go back to a neutral status. So we'll try for that. If that doesn't work, I'll send a spy over to try for just flat out peace. Maybe they'll be more amenable to that. But here I'm noticing ski, they've done nothing. They've got the Abbey, they've got a port, which maybe was here at the beginning, and they don't even have the ability to train Highland clansmen here, or here, which is their most damaging unit. Jeez, and they've got nobody there. Alright, did we get any influence on that? No. This is really, really unfortunate. Alright, check the heirs again. Edulf is 46. Prince Elfwald is 15. Alright, so next year he'll come of age, and he may take over the throne, which will mean that Edulf is probably going to be less loyal even than he currently is. Alright, can we put you under the king? Not yet. Alright, so we still have a lot of low loyalty nobodies running around, unfortunately. So maybe this will be a building turn. And then we see what the Scots are going to do with our diplomatic overtures. Now, one thing we can do that is a really cheap and effective build is a keep and a curtain wall. Once you've got the keep built, you just add a curtain wall to it, and it really radically changes the nature of the defense of the settlement if you're under siege. Because typically a keep has wooden walls surrounding it and then a stone wall enclosure further in. But what this does is it transforms these into stone walls. The appearance won't change on the campaign map, unfortunately, but it will be a stone wall on the battle map. And that means that the only way through is through the gates. So the enemy is going to have to send men to attack the gates unless they have siege equipment. And the Scots don't have any siege equipment anymore. We have that capability now, but they don't. So there's typically very few catapults running around in the Viking campaign, as you would imagine. So this is actually a really nice investment. Makes it much easier to hold those settlements. Let's go ahead and build a unit, though. We've got lots of archers. We've got a couple of armored spearmen. We don't have a lot of of woodsmen here, but I don't want to build woodsmen out of Dalriada. You got to build them out of Elmet. We could go with Fearedmen. They're going to get a +1 Valor bonus because we've got this this here. Let's go with Armored Spears. I think we can afford it. And let's move, yeah, just any one of you up here. Okay, so we lost a princess, and she must have been in Ireland. And this one's 21. Let's move over to Legan, see what the Irish look like. And I'll do the same with you. I'll get you down here so you can move around the map. I'll move you over here just in case. Okay. So the way the Scots are moving around... Oh, there go the Irish. Very interesting. Viking leader has died from illness. That's fine. The Pict leader has died from an illness. Elfwald has matured. Alright. And we've got our keep in Curtinwall and Dalriada. And... Alright, so we got our ceasefire. That's very nice. Oh, and they've got a civil war. Perfect. Alright, so we can move into Ski now without having to worry about it. So the Scots lose Ulster because the Irish made their move. Very good. Alright, Ethelred II is now a builder. That's nice. Elfwald is a natural leader. Very good. +2 morale, +1 loyalty, and secret pride. -1 command, but +3 valor. So these are both good as far as I'm concerned. I think that's okay. Colwyn is educated. I don't think he's really a contender for a governorship. Let's see. Yeah, not really. I mean, he's okay. Well, let's check the loyalty. Oh, good. Very good. He's directly in line for the throne, so I guess it makes sense. Now, unfortunately, he's got no acumen, so he's taking after his dad in that regard. Let's see how the loyalty is on the other prince. Okay, this has not changed. Prince Adolf is still at 3 shields, which again is not good. And Elfwald also has a disappointingly low command. And yeah, now he's in line for the throne. So now he is, let's see, he is actually the son of the previous king, I want to say. Is that right? So he might be the son of an Irish mother, right? I think there was an Irish princess who married into the family, and this guy is not his father, I think. I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure he's half Irish. What that means is maybe there's a chance we could inherit some Irish land if their faction goes under. I don't know that it will now. It seems like they've got they're doing okay. Let's get a princess over to Connacht, though. We'll keep an eye on that. And here, so we can attack Ski. Now, there's arguably maybe not a lot of point in doing that, because it opens us up to attack from, from other directions, and it doesn't help our borders resolve at all. Like, it would make more sense to take Athfodla. Ski, however, does have a trade good. It does have an abbey, and I think we maybe want to move on it before the Irish get there. Or before the Vikings get there, rather. So let's try this. Let's try an alliance with the old Scots. See if they'll take that. And while we're doing that, let's move right in. Let's see if we can have someone loyal. Oh, beautiful. You came along at just the right time. And what about you? Colwyn, you're just okay. I'm going to move, let's say everybody else. Oh, the rebels are neutral. That's fine. We're going to go for Ski. This will help our income a little bit. It'll give us access theoretically to Domon if we get a boat there. The Picts, I think, own this, and it might be good just to have that potential trade connection. Okay, keep moving assassins. And here we finished the fortified village, so now we can go directly to the drinking den. 700 florins. I'm going to do it. And let's check the diplomacy. I don't think there's any wars. Nope. Saxons and the Mercians, once again, not at war. The Mercians keep moving troops around, and I think it's intimidating the Saxons. So as long as we keep gaining a little bit here, I think we're going to be okay. Let's check that. Loyalty looks fine. There were a couple of places where I had to lower taxes. And, you know, it arguably doesn't make all that much difference. So 700 there on the rookery or whatever it is. And in Pexetten, we can now train archers, but more importantly, we might want to go for some economy. Let's go with a trader. That's kind of expensive, but we can, you know, make some use of it. We've got the port, we've got the boat builder. We can now build boats. Let's do it. Get the trader, then get the port here, and then we'll be trading out of here and here with Clyde, Man, and the Irish and the Welsh, theoretically. So as long as the Vikings don't just attack our solitary boat in the Irish Sea, we could be good. So let's see what the Scots or the rebels are going to do. All right, Mercians moving back. Saxons making their move on Cantware. All right, so we're invading Ski. They're going to fight. So I'm going to do a little save here. Let's see if we want to adjust our reinforcements. I think this looks fine, honestly. We're going to have the cavalry show up as reinforcements. So yeah, we'll go with that. All right, weather looks wonderful here. We do have plenty of archers, so let's wait. Easing later. Okay, fine throughout the day. We'll attack in this. Yeah, so we definitely want to make use of these archers. This is actually maybe not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. There are some very dramatic slopes in this map, though, like up here and over there. So, you know, I'm guessing they're probably going to be up in the trees to our left. Well, let's just group them up, because I think, once again, the AI has given us a pretty reasonable deployment initially. We've got Kerns, archers up front, our spears and so on in the back, and our cavalry. So here we've got our king with his, I want to say, nephew. This is very likely to be the king's last battle. He's got 0 valor? How did that happen? I don't remember that his traits were poor, like hedonist or anything like that. But this guy's looking good, at least in the valor department. It's getting us back to the days of our first king there. Yep, so they're up in the trees. Now this is peasants. Yes, peasants, spearmen, archers. We can get all the way up there. You can see they're moving for that area as well. Okay, are they going to come down off the hill? I'm just going to allow them to shoot at me for a little while. Yeah, they're kind of going to let us do what we want here. Jeez, I am sorry. I don't know what is going on with the slideshow stuff here. All right, back to normal speed. All right, let's move our front line left up into the trees. Armored spearmen and peasants are moving in. There's their general. He's a peasant unit. I'll send my central unit of armored spears after him. Let's get the new heir around to the right. This is really, I think, basically all of their units in terms of melee stuff. So send these lighter guys after the archers.
The enemy general is dead. Unfortunately slain before the pox could kill him.
All right, very quick little battle. That could have gone worse. They made a mistake coming down off of the hill. But, you know, the thing I do appreciate about this game is the AI will do this sometimes. They will clearly not always come down off the hill after you. Maybe, you know, maybe that was the best calculation that they could have made. But I think it's just, you do get variety in how the AI is going to respond to you. So you're not always sure, are they just going to sit up here and wait? Or are they going to try to rush me you know, because I'm moving into a position that they view as somewhat vulnerable. So we'll just clean this up and get back to the campaign map. Well, we've got sea conquered, but of course we didn't catch all of them, so they are under siege. That'll be another year or two before that falls. And we've captured a lot of confiscated lands. So let's do the typical thing here. We're going to execute all of them and work up the dread for our king, since that's what we're kind of playing as. Okay, Mercians are the happiest in terms of population. I guess that makes sense. They've got basically their starting settlements plus like one more here. And those are pretty large armies, so they've probably got taxes cranked and 200% loyalty. Okay, good. We're starting to get some enemy agents. That's going to be some valor for one of these guys. Metalsmith in Fib. No alliance with the Scots, sadly. Okay. Well, it's better than war because, you know, we're at least theoretically we could be trading with them. So, okay, Sigmund is a deep thinker. He's not a lord, but maybe he should be. +3 acumen. Lord Edwald, clever with words. We're starting to get some good traits, and he is a lord already. Thane of Kyle. And you're not Thane of anything, but man, you're actually really good. High Dread. Yeah, let's give you something that could make some money. It could be Dalriada, but this place, well, actually it might be useful to have a somewhat dreadful Lord of Dalriada, but honestly, he's a woodsman. He's in Elmet. We'll give him Elmet. It's kind of a waste of his skills. It's only making 49, but we'll give him Elmet. Okay, still no war between Saxons and Mercians, but meanwhile, we're at least grabbing some of these northern lands. This is much better than other campaigns where sometimes I've just turtled here, you know, because I just feel like playing a defensive failing campaign, and I just turtle in my initial 5 or 6 provinces, and then I wait, and then the war starts pretty early, and then I'm screwed over because I can't do anything. So I get to fight those hopeless defensive battles. But here we're doing well in the sense that we've grabbed Reget, right, which we didn't start with. We grabbed Kyle, and then we grabbed these 3 fairly quickly after. Or actually, we got Fib probably the first, right? And then eventually we got Reget and then grabbed these 3 pretty fast. So war with the Scots is over, and their new king. So forget what I said about the kings no longer being a problem for us, because now they're back in the Highlands here. King Connell I is a killer instinct, a master of numbers, and is freezing my game at the moment. There we go. Actually, he's got really nice looking acumen, yes. But that's unfortunate that they're no longer in possession of Ireland. The Irish are, let's check, they're not at war with the Vikings, so in theory they could get out boats too and start becoming a naval power. It does happen sometimes, but usually it only happens when there's rebels across the sea from them that they can attack. That is the case down here, so we could see an Irish faction that starts to spread into Wales, as seems historically to have happened hundreds of years before the Viking era. Ooh. Is this their only king? Yeah, 14% success. Now there's a border fort here, so I'm probably not gonna succeed. But we've got a 2-star. We've got 2 2-stars. All right. I don't know if we want to lead with that. I don't know if it matters the order in which I queue these up. But let's just get a bunch of assassins going. I'm sorry you need to listen to the violin music every single time. Let's see. You can also go here. And you, and that might be it. No, one more. Very cool. And again, when they're on the job, they draw knives, right? So they look like this when they're just wandering. Just a humble beggar, sir, right? A little walking stick, a little bag for your food or whatever, and a cloak and a hood. And then when they get ready to strike, they pull the knives out. It's a nice little detail. I always like how these things conveyed information to you. So I don't know that there's much chance of that happening. And if it does, I don't know that we'll necessarily inherit. But let's see. All right, let's see if we can. We've still got our prince and our king here. Actually, he's gained a crown of influence as a result of winning that battle in Ski. So we own the province. And, you know, I'm going to make you Thane of Dalriada. There we go. We can crank that up to high. And we can go with a church here. That makes a lot of sense, too. Because Iona, I want to say, is around here. I could be wrong. It's a very small island, but maybe it's around here. And Iona, of course, is a famous monastery. Was it Cuthbert who was educated there? Cuthbert was more associated with Northumbria, but Aidan, I think, came from Iona and was sort of one of the founding saints of Lindisfarne, I want to say. Lots of cool stuff happened on Iona. It's hard to keep it straight. But regardless, we'll build a church here. This is very cheap, only 200 florins. It does take 6 years. But we're not doing that much with Dalriada anyway. This is not a place that we're going to trade in. It's not a place we're going to do any farming. The money we're getting is coming from the Abbey, so it makes sense to continue with that and develop this into a center of learning to some extent. All right, but I'm liking this. How long is this going to last? 2 years. Okay, so that's like 3 turns. I think that's fine. The only thing I am worried about is if the Scots are going to feel like they can attack me down here now. But if they do, we'll just turn around and hit them again. Maybe the Picts will attack them. I'm thinking they're probably going to want to mix up some of their troops so that this king is not so vulnerable here. But let's get our emissary. Let's check out the other places. The Orcades, Domon. We'll send him on a little tour and see what we can get out of it. Okay, we do have to keep an eye on these taxes still. So let's go with a spy, and then we'll go for another couple of assassins. Actually, since we're building this, that's 3 turns. Let's go for 3 spies. And then we'll be queuing up 2 Valor Assassins right out of the gate. All right, and because... oh, his loyalty actually... Yeah, that's still very bad. There, still at 3. Okay, I'll move this assassin over. And you up. And we can get a port here. I mean, it might make sense to do that. We've got some really nice trade goods. So maybe once the assassin stuff is all taken care of, we'll work on trade. Let's see how this skullduggery works out with all of our assassins. Okay, that's 1 failure. That's 1 failure. Unrest in Moray. Good, good. Our spy is keeping things unrestful there. Hold out for 2 years. All right, caught. Yep. Spy is caught in Kent. Okay. So this means that the war is likely to heat up. It hasn't even started yet, but the war that we keep hearing about between these Mercians and the Saxons is likely to actually occur now because there's no more rebel provinces nearby, I think. All right, unfortunately, we've been caught and killed in Moray, but not before we could do some damage in the form of some unrest. Okay, well, so the first 2 spies or assassins that we sent against this Irish king were... They made it past the border fort, I think. But the other 2 failed. Or the other 3 or 4, however many we sent. So let's just keep getting them over there. Yeah, I think I will continue to send you up. And let's do this because... Yeah, we want to make sure we're not going to get a rebellion ourselves. So this is going to be 1 year, which means 2 more turns. And we can't see what this is anymore because our spy is gone. But yeah, it looks like the Picts still holding on in the Orcades. They've got a little bit of cash. It doesn't look like they're doing anything with it. Oh, no, they are. Unless these came with the rebellion, which they may have. But it looks like they're actually training berserkers. So that is a little concerning. I think we could deal with it if they attacked us. All right. So what to do next? We've got a loyal governor here, so we could afford to train some more men in Dalriada and keep a force around there. in Fib, I think we want to go a little further with this. I think we want to expand. We can get Fearedmen out of this as well. We could get higher valor horsemen, though. That might be nice. That's cheaper. Let's do that. It also makes it more likely that if we lose the settlement, we won't lose the stables. It may be downgraded to a stables rather than that we just lose the ability to produce that unit altogether. Mercians are the largest. Saxon leaders died from an illness. And Ski is about to fall. It looks like, wow, the rebels won in Moray. So who's going to take that? Is that going to be the Picts or the Scots? Or me, indeed? I could take Moray. I don't think I want it. There's no reason to take this province. It's a bit of a shame. Like, I wish they had some slight more balance, right? There's something very satisfying about playing Shogun, the first game, where all of the provinces are... Typically, they're either lowlands, which means that they are agriculturally worthwhile, but they're harder to defend because the terrain is pretty flat. Or they're highlands, in which case they tend not to produce a lot of money because the farming's not as good, but they're easier to defend, right? So there's a little bit of a balance, and then they do have these valor bonuses sprinkled around for various unit types. And in Scotland, you just don't have a lot of that. You've got the best provinces for money are the ones down here, right? Which kind of makes sense, I guess. Monmouth is, well, actually, even this seems like this should be a little higher, right? You've got Aberdeen up here, don't you? You got some cool stuff. But otherwise, yeah, the only money here is coming out of the Abbey, really. There's no trade goods, and Moray is like that. So, like, there's too many provinces, in my opinion, up here where there's just nothing. Like Ski and Afootlaw, at least this has a Celtic Warrior bonus, and Ski has a Highland Clansman bonus and a trade good, right? I could have sworn this had iron, but I guess not. Dalriada, Moray, Monmouth, and Kate, just nothing, right? Nothing to really distinguish them apart from the terrain. So it's a bit of a shame. Anyway, we'll see. I'll give them a turn or two to figure out what they're going to do here, and I still need to take Ski out completely. But this is pretty formidable. If the Picts ever get a boat built, they could be in a pretty good position. Now, we, speaking of, do have a boat now. This is a 0 command, a totally regular boat, and this is some unique art here. The Saxon vessel is ideal for voyages in inshore waters, but not for longer journeys in deeper waters. Lacking a sail, the crew would soon be exhausted if forced to battle northern sea storms. It does, however, carry a reasonable amount of cargo and a strong crew. I mean, strong crew, there's actually nothing here about the crew, is there? Because unlike Rome, there's no population mechanic really in this game, so you don't have a crew number, I guess. We got support costs, we've got stats, but there's not like numbers of men that can tell you what's better. What's better is everything the Vikings make, right? Even this, Snekia with no command, attack 1, defense 1, that'll just crush us. We have attack 1, defense 0. We do have 2 speed, but against the Vikings, again, that's not that great. It's a bit of a shame, in my opinion, that the Saxon stuff is just so poor. I don't think it was that bad, right? They kind of make it seem really bad versus the Viking ships. And in reality, I think all you needed to do was what they already did, which is allow the Vikings this cool mechanic to strike and leave without needing a port, right? And that, to me, represents the fact that their ships were able to get them in and out. You do need ships linking the sea regions like you do in the base game, but the Vikings can move around much more easily, and that was the advantage that they had. They didn't have an advantage in terms of fighting at sea, right? The Viking sea battles, as I understand it, were really a lot like land battles, just on a boat. And so it wasn't that their boats were super awesome, like at naval warfare. It was just that their boats were good at getting into places. They were more maneuverable, and they could carry a crew farther and faster. So the way it models it is not ideal. You know, our little boat here is going to be crushed by Viking ships, unfortunately, if that arises. But we are making some income now. Let's take a look at that. So our trader is making 130 now because we are trading our honey, or mead rather, with all sorts of places. We're trading with the Isle of Man, which is Welsh, interestingly. I like that. It's a very cool development. We're trading with Clyde. We're trading with Powys also. This is an ally of ours. And we're trading in Brega. So all of these places with ports are trading. And now we do the same thing here. We just build a port in Pexetten, and we're going to have trade happening here because we've already got this. This is only making 13, and then we're going to be trading wood with every place here, except for our own place. We don't get to trade with ourselves. Okay, let's move, continue moving spies, because I think we're going to need them in these places we're conquering. All right, loyalty's not looking too bad. And Kyle, this is making us 970. It's a fantastic producer, so maybe we should invest in that a little bit more. We've got a lot of money. Speaking of investing, let's go with some Saxon Huscarls. Again, I'm making the mistake of trying to right-click these units to show off the art a little bit. And it's taken forever for the game to load them up. Thanks a lot, Windows. Great stuff. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, 75 support upkeep costs. I think we can well afford it at this time. We're making 1,300. And I think with our recent conquest, right, our influence is reasonable. Of course, we're going to get a new king here probably next turn. So hopefully loyalty won't be too bad, and maybe he'll get some good command stars. All right, we pillaged 100 because there's nothing in Ski. That's actually fine. I think we kept the abbey. Okay, we've caught an assassin. The Saxons filled his purse. Interesting. All right, we built our drinking den in Deira. And where are you going? All right, she's clearly on the move, but she has no mission apparently, which is fine, I guess. Let's see what the Saxons have. Yep, Saxon Huscarls, Royal Bodyguard. Still no wars. It's gonna happen, and when it does happen, it's going to be really, really a problem. This is very good, though. I got very lucky with that roll. He is actually a pretty decent acumen character, too, so we can use him in that. Yeah, 3 acumen is decent. I could give him Pexetten. I'd give him a command star, which might be nice. I can give him Ski. Give him some Dread. Let's definitely build here. And let's see, Cumbri or Pexetten. Let's go with Earl of Cumbri, right? We'll just give him that. This is not a hugely, productive province, at least not yet. But we are slowly building it up. Let's go with a fortified village, right? Because we want to get some training capability there. And here, yeah, let's go with a mead hall. That's going to give us valor to our woodsmen and the fearedmen that we train here. Basically, it gives you valor to the stuff that you could train at the previous level of that building. So that will be nice. 3 more turns for the church. And our king is still going strong, 62. Oh, he picked up... No. He was at 4. He's still at 4. The Scots, I noticed, tried to take Moray, but failed. And yeah, we've still got both the port and the abbey here, which is really, really nice. And once I can, I'm going to build a watchtower here to see into Kate, to see what it looks like. But yes, move assassins. I've got a couple of Huscarls. Let's move... I think it would be impolite to move them down south, because I don't want the Mercians to start getting suspicious. Let's move them... I could keep them right here, actually. It might be good to have them as a fallback unit. Okay. All right, and Regget, let's go for the next level immediately. We'll go for a slipway. And let's also train another unit of another boat. Looks like the Vikings are being pretty passive. And here's what we were waiting for. The Northumbrian leader has died from an illness. Mercians are the richest. Got another assassin captured. Very good. Warrior hold and stockade. And Edwald is a glutton. But Oswulf is clever with words. Oh, very good. Now, he may be someone we could give a lordship to. Nope, not quite. Not quite. He's decent. But I'll wait. Maybe we can give him a lordship with you know, if we get 2 command stars. Okay, we do have some assassins here. We've got one with 2, one, the others have 1. So he may have been picking up some of this valor through counter-spying. King Elfwald I, 21 years old, natural leader, secret pride. So that's who we're dealing with. Really unimpressive. He's only got 1 command star, 3 influence, so we're back down to that, which means loyalty is a problem. And 3 dread. You know, he's got 1 piety, so that's the only thing he's got, I guess, over his predecessor. But let's check this out. This is the biggest problem. This was the former heir. You'll see the game still does show the crown, but this is not accurate. He is no longer a prince. If we were to stack him here, yeah, it would disappear. But actually, he's the same as he was. And so there has not been that big of a shakeup. In fact, things are looking quite good. Yeah, okay. We're in good position. Edwald was always kind of a problem. So we should get someone down here. Maybe that's what I'll do with you, actually. It does feel like maybe a bit of a waste. But we've got this cadre of very disloyal woodsmen just hanging around the hills in the middle of the island here. Okay, but now that we've got the assassin building complete, we can go to this level. We could go to the fort, but you know, I'm thinking of taking a break, a slight break, 2 years to build a trader. Right, since we're enjoying this period of peace, maybe we can sneak that in, maybe get a port. We'll queue up all the assassins that we can. They're going to have 2 valor to start. And let's get our watchtower built. And then we'll see what the Scots really look like. We'll be able to see if they have a border fort system in Moray, because they may not have. It may have just been we got unlucky. Maybe they had a spy. But we'll at least get a visual on how that all looks. And still no heirs for the Irish king. So you know, maybe we'll try this again. It'd be helpful if he moved out of Connacht, because that border fort is like a hard, a hard block on what we can do. But actually, this is why it might make sense for us to build, you know, the trader and then the port, just so we can start getting our assassins out quickly where we want them to go, and they don't all have to cluster up and Regget over like the course of 3 turns. So we're starting we're ending the episode here with our new king, Elfwald I. He's 21. He does have a little brother coming along, or a cousin perhaps, Prince Anred, but there's no other current heirs. And so he's in a very vulnerable position currently, because he's going to have to wait 7 years, I think, before this prince comes of age. And during that time, you know, it's a good time to be at peace, I guess, is what I'm saying. We'll see if that peace holds. This guy is somewhat volatile, I guess. We got the secret pride, we got a natural leader trait. So we could have the potential to be a good king. Although the 0 valor, why is that? He will have better valor if he's on the campaign map. I think that's how that works. So, or if he's on the battle map, rather, that'll actually kick in. So we'll see. You know, he may, over the course of his life, may very well be involved in some battles, but hopefully we'll be able to fight those on our terms. So we will see how this develops. I look forward especially to seeing if the Saxons and the Mercians are going to actually go to war. We do still have spies in the region, so hopefully we can get some knowledge about that won't be countermanded by the facts that eventually come out. But at any rate, I'll see you in the next one. Take care until then.